I don't really know where to start with this video, but I know that I want to talk about it and that I really want to have a sort of video journal entry. I'm not really sure if I'm going to keep this private or if I'm going to decide to make the video public and share it with other people. So I guess we'll see. If you're watching this now, then I guess I decided to make it public. But we sold my family home, the house that I'm currently in. I'm actually sitting on the floor of my bedroom right now, and if I were to flip the camera, which maybe I'll do, you'd just see I'm kind of living with some boxes, and it's kind of messy and a little bit empty, and this whole thing feels really strange. I've lived in this house for like 12 years or so. This is the first house that we bought when we moved to Canada from Colombia, the first house that I've lived in and the only house that I've lived in Canada so far. So it feels really weird to be saying goodbye to this place because it's really special to me. I already know that this video is going to be all over the place with me just kind of figuring out my thoughts, but that's usually how my regular written out journal entries go, so I guess it only makes sense that it'll be kind of similar for a video journal entry. We kind of started the process of selling the house a couple of months back, and back then it was really weird to know that there was people coming in here and looking at the house to see if they would make it their own home. And then we kind of started, you know, selling furniture and figuring out where we were going to be going and all of these things that just constantly kept me busy. And I don't think that it really hit me until tonight that I will no longer be living in this house and that, you know, this isn't my home anymore. This is the last night that I'm spending here, sleeping in my room in that bed that is currently right over there, and I'm looking at it and I can feel myself getting a little bit emotional about this bedroom. And actually looking at it right now, you can see the wall behind me is painted kind of blue, but I can see like the pink that had been there before at some points in the ceiling, and that was the color that I first had when I first moved here. This room has meant so much to me, and so much has happened within these walls, both good and bad. I've had a lot of like laughter and good memories here, and I've also had a lot of sad memories, heartbreaks that have happened right over there where I've cried and lived my life and grown as a person from, you know, before I was a teen until now. I wouldn't really call this my childhood home because my childhood was actually back in Colombia, or at least most of it. But, you know, I still came here when I was 10 years old, and I did do a lot of growing up here. I had my entire teen years here in this house through high school, and then in university I did go live on campus for some years, but the house was always here for me to come back to. I know some people, if I do decide to make this public, might think that I'm being over dramatic about a house, because I know that in many ways it's kind of like materialistic or something, but I don't really see it that way. I see this place as something that was really special in my life and a house that really provided for me, and that was an absolute home and an absolute blessing in my life. And it feels hard to say goodbye to something like that. And I know that family is what really makes a home. I mean, we moved across the freaking world, and I know that as long as my family is kind of with me, I'll always have a home. But that doesn't take away from the fact that this house was my physical home, and that this house was something really special to me. And a part of me feels like I have to thank this house and be grateful for it. And I know that that might sound really stupid to think an inanimate thing, but really I am just so grateful for this house and for so many of the countless memories that I've made here, you know, Christmases and birthdays and friends coming over, and even like long hours studying to get my degree on that desk over there. I don't know, there are just so many things that happen in this house, and I feel like I owe a lot to it. I am so grateful that I had such a wonderful place to call my home for so many years. I'm kind of just thinking back when I first moved here, coming from Colombia and seeing this place for the first time. It was kind of a fixer-upper kind of house. We had to change the floors and paint the walls and figure out a bunch of stuff. And we really just changed this place to make it our home. And I remember walking through that door and just kind of being excited to have a home in Canada. It felt like, I don't know, such a big dream and a big change. And it was kind of scary, but it was also really exciting. And making that transition as an immigrant, like moving from Colombia to Canada and going to a new school and learning a new language and all of these things, and then being able to come back to this house and just have it be like my safe place was everything. Now I'm really gonna cry. I am so grateful that my parents bought this place and that we made it into what it is. And obviously a lot of that actually has to do with the people that lived within these walls, for which I am even more grateful, obviously. I feel like I'm just sitting here kind of repeating myself, but I also think I'm kind of procrastinating packing up the rest of my stuff and seeing my room be fully empty. And I'm not gonna lie, I feel like I've kind of been procrastinating the packing process a lot, because I feel like the more that I pack, the more real it feels that I will not be living in this house anymore. I know how overdramatic and stupid some of this sounds, but that's just kind of how I'm feeling right now. And I think I hadn't really emotionally processed a lot of this. Like, I've just kind of been on, you know, go mode with like selling the furniture and packing stuff up and moving boxes and, you know, doing all of these things. And now that I've really started to see the house be empty without any furniture and walking around each room, seeing it look so different, I don't know, I guess now I'm finally getting around to the point of emotionally processing it. And I think a lot of people say that change doesn't really hit you till a little bit after. And I think that kind of makes sense, because it didn't really hit me when we sold the house. And it hadn't really hit me until today, kind of. And I think it will definitely be hitting a lot more when I'm sleeping in the other place in the next couple of days. I think this is part of why I'm not really sure if I'm gonna make this video public or not, because who knows, maybe when I watch this back I'll be like, oh my god, I was being so over dramatic. But I think I just kind of have to remember that my feelings are valid. I'm not really sure if I'm gonna share them with everyone else, but I'm sure someone else out there can relate to this, maybe when they've moved out of their childhood home. I know, again, this isn't really technically my childhood home, but it is definitely the house that I've lived in the longest. And as much as I'm really sad about it, I'm also pretty excited to be moving to a new place and to be having a new kind of environment. I will be moving out on my own, I think, in 2022. But until that happens, I still get to be with my family and be surrounded with them, which I actually think is really nice considering we're in a pandemic. My parents just got home from doing a moving trip to the other house, And so I think I'm gonna leave the video here. I still have a lot of things to pack and to do tonight before the last night sleeping in this place. I know this wasn't the usual video on my channel if I did decide to make it public, but I'm happy that I filmed it, and I'm happy that I have this memory of me talking, this documentation of me talking about it while still sitting in this place. I'll probably post a more regular video on my channel pretty soon after this one, but if you did watch this till the end, I guess thank you for being a little part of this journey. And yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like that.